لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور انفسنا ومن سيئات اعمالنا من يهديه الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له واشهد ان لا اله الا الله وحده لا شريك له واشهد ان محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى اله وصحبه وسلم. ان شاء الله نتعلم صلاه الوتر. صلاه الوتر from منهج السالكين وتوضيح الفقه في الدين. and صلاة الوتر is part of صلاة التطوع or the optional صلاة or voluntary صلاة. And as we said before, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala out of His mercy He made for the believers obligatory actions and voluntary actions. And these obligatory actions are the most beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it's a must and has to be done, and it's in the capacity of every single human being. And if the person is not able to do one thing, then he can refer to what is lenient and what is easy, based on religion also. But we will see that the fard, no excuse whatsoever in missing it, because again, it's not something of too much work or effort. But when it comes to the tatawwa, or to do things optionally or voluntarily, this is definitely levels that people can excel in, the levels of the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to be obedient to Him, and with the rewards people vary according to perfection of the obligatory actions and these optional acts of worship. Also, one of the benefits, as the ulama, they say, it's to fix the deficiencies that we have when we do the obligatory actions. When we have deficiencies in our actions that we do, acts of worship, we don't do it in the most perfect way. So comes the optional acts of worship to fix these deficiencies, and for the person to gain rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Again, it's the level to achieve for the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of which is Salat al-Witr. Salat al-Witr. Salat is, again, the Salat that we know, the prayer, in which the word prayer is deficient, because to some prayer means supplication or asking. But Salah is more than that. Salah is praise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is asking from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in specific actions, specific moves, standing, ruku', sujood, and so on. Starts with the takbir and ends with the taslim. So here, Salat al-Witr. Al-Witr means odd number, 1, 3, 5, and so on. And Salat al-Witr is something that is not obligatory according to the vast majority of the ulama, because the Prophet ﷺ also mentioned the Quran, and the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ was mentioned as an obligation of 5 daily salat. إِلَّا أَن تَطَوَّعَ, as the Prophet ﷺ answered when the Arabi asked him, do I have anything more than the 5 daily salat? The Prophet ﷺ said, as far as the obligation, he said, إِلَّا أَن تَطَوَّعَ, unless you would make tatawwa, unless you would do things more than the 5 daily salat. So that means Salat al-Witr, as he says, Sunnatul Mu'akkada. Sunnatul Mu'akkada. Sunnah, as we said in the books of Fiqh, means recommended. Right? But this is not at all times. Once we see the word Sunnah, it can be fard, it can be recommended. The Sunnah, things that are not permissible, for example, you would find it mentioned in the Sunnah. Matters of Aqidah, you would find it also the Sunnah, or the word Sunnah is mentioned. So here it means it's a stressed Sunnah. Sunnah mu'akkada, that means the Prophet ﷺ would never leave it. He would always pray the witr. And Salat al-Witr is one of the prayers where the Prophet ﷺ would not leave, whether he is traveling or not. Some Sunnah mu'akkada, the Prophet ﷺ would leave it when he would travel, like Sunnah al-Dhuhr, Sunnah al-Maghrib, and Sunnah al-Isha. The Prophet ﷺ would leave them while he's traveling. But Sunnah al-Fajr and Sunnah al-Witr, the Prophet ﷺ would not leave it even when he is traveling. These from the Sunnah al-Mu'akkada. The other Sunnah, the Prophet ﷺ will not leave it when he's traveling, like Qiyamul Layl, Salat al-Duha, and so on. So this is Sunnah Mu'akkada. It's even the most stressed Sunnah whatsoever in Salah is Salat al-Witr. It's the closest one to the fard. According to Imam Abu Hanifa, it's an obligation, it's wajib. But again, the majority, the rest of the ulama are the opinion that it's Sunnah Mu'akkada and it's not wajib, and with the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ and the statements of the Sahaba and so on. So this is a Sunnah Mu'akkada, and as Ibrahim Zidan himself, he said about a man leaving the witr intentionally, he said, ذَاكَ رَجُلٌ رجل ذاك رجل سوء. He said that he's an evil man. Even though it's not a sin. But someone to leave the witr intentionally, this is not a good sign. Right? So it's not to be missed. It's not that we say recommended, that means it's okay to leave it, that means we leave it. No. And as we will see, وَأَقَلُّ رَكَعَةٍ as it will come. So really there is no excuse. The least number of witr is 1 rak'ah. So if a person prays 1 rak'ah, he had prayed witr. Right? And this is according to Madhab Imam Shafi'i, Madhab Imam Ahmad. Right? Because others, they said it's not recommended to make it only 1. But it's valid according to the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, 1 rak'ah is sufficient. We'll talk about that inshallah. So Salat al-Witri, sunnatun mu'akkad. داوم النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم عليه حضرا وسفرا. داوم, right? And mudawama is to be persistently doing something, consistency, without missing it whatsoever, right? So the Prophet ﷺ would continuously do it. Never, some of the sunnah the Prophet ﷺ would do it sometimes and leave it sometimes. But this is the sunnah that the Prophet ﷺ will not miss whatsoever. داوم عليه حضرا وسفرا. حضرا, while instead of being in his not traveling, it's the opposite of traveling, and safaran, while he's traveling. وَحَثَّ النَّاسَ عَلَيْهِ. And he ordered the people to do it. He ordered the people by saying, أَوْتِرُوا فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ وِتْرُ يُحِبُّ الْوِتْرِ. Make witr. Prophet ﷺ ordered the people, and he said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is witr, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one, and he likes what is witr. He likes what is 1 or odd numbers. So it's always recommended to do things in odd numbers. The Prophet ﷺ would break his fast with 3 pieces of dates or odd numbers. When a person even clean himself from impurity, it's sunnah to make it in odd numbers. So if 1 was not sufficient and there's still impurities, as we said before, you make it 3. Then if 3 is not sufficient, you make it 5 and so on. So this is in all of our affairs, and one of which is Salat al-Witr. وَأَقَلُّهُ رَكَعَةً. The أقلُّهُ means the minimum of Salat al-Witr is rak'ah. 1 rak'ah only. Right? And again, this is according to the, inshallah, the correct opinion, because the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, Salatul Layli mathna, that the night prayer is 2. And then he said, ثُمَّ أَوْتِرْ وَاحِدًا. And then make witr by 1 rak'ah. So this is an authentic hadith where it's approved to pray 1 rak'ah of witr. وَأَكْثَرُهُ 11. And the maximum is 11 rak'ah. Some narrations 13 rak'ah. Right? And when he says the minimum of it is 1 rak'ah, but what is most recommended is to make it at least 3. The one that the Prophet ﷺ would always pray most of his time, the norm of the Prophet ﷺ that he would pray with 3 rak'ah. Right? But if a person prays 1, that's sufficient. وَأَكْثَرُهُ 11, and the maximum is 11, as the hadith of Aisha that the Prophet ﷺ did not choose to pray more than 11 rak'ah, whether in Ramadan or other than Ramadan. But if a person, this is again for witr, but if a person wants to pray more numbers of rak'ah, there is no harm. And it depends, as Shaykh al-Rahmani said, depends on what the person's heart is feeling with. If a person feels like making a long salah, for example, then mashallah, this is best. If a person likes to make a lot of sujood, a lot of ruku', then there's no harm and there's no limit, but as long as it's 2 rak'ah after 2 rak'ah, then you can pray witr at the end. وقته, the time of witr. وقته, it's time, من صلاة العشاء إلى طلوع الفجر. From صلاة العشاء till the break of the dawn, break of Fajr, which is the beginning time of Fajr. من صلاة العشاء, not from وقت العشاء, not from the time of Isha, it's from the time, or it's from the Salat al-Isha. Big difference here. Right? Because if a person didn't pray Isha yet, then not to pray with until you pray the Isha prayer. So, for example, if someone is traveling and he prayed Maghrib and Isha together, combined it at the time of Maghrib, he can immediately after that pray witr. So in that case, he will pray witr at the time of Maghrib, not at the time of Isha. So it's according to when did you pray Isha. If a person prayed Isha till the middle of the night, then the witr salah starts from after that. Till not the Salat al-Fajr, but till the beginning of the time of Fajr. So once the Adhan al-Fajr is called the second Adhan al-Fajr, then it's not permissible to pray with. If a person misses it, it is not permissible to make it at this time. It's to make it either to make it after sunrise as it will come inshallah. So if a person missed witr, to make the qada of al-witr is to make it at the time of duha, after sunrise till before dhuhr, and you add a rak'ah to it. If you used to make 1 rak'ah, then you make it up as 2. If you used to make it 3 rak'ah witr, then you make it as 4. 2 and 2. 2 and salam and 2 and salam. If you used to make, or you wanted to make witr as 5 rak'ah, then you make it 6 rak'ah. If a person used to make 11 rak'ah, and he missed them, as the Prophet ﷺ, whenever he would miss the night prayer of Qiyamul Layl because of a sickness or something, he would pray 12 rak'ah in the time of duha. So he would add a rak'ah to it. وَالْأَفْضَلُ أَنْ يَكُونَ آخِرَ صَلَاتِ. That al-afdal, the best, what is more virtuous, أَنْ يَكُونَ آخِرَ صَلَاتِ, which means that the witr becomes آخِر, the last of his salah. This is the most virtuous, the best, is to make the witr the last salah of the night. The night prayer, definitely, it's the most virtuous salah after the fard, as the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. And making the witr the last salah, this is definitely what is more recommended. But if a person is not sure whether he will wake up or not, right, then it's better for him to pray before he sleeps. And this is how we understand the hadith of Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, when the Prophet ﷺ ordered him, and utira qabla an anam. He ordered him that he would make witr before he sleeps. Some of the ulama, they said, because Abu Hurairah used to stay late in matters of knowledge, because he used to memorize the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ and so on. So it depends on the affairs of the person. If he sleeps right after Isha, for example, and he usually wake up, this is his norm, then definitely to delay the witr is better. But if he used to, or his norm is that he stays late, he might not, then in that case he should pray witr before he sleeps and not to follow the ways of shaitan. And a person should learn from the ways of shaitan. It tells you make it the last of your salah, and then you find yourself that you frequently missing the witr. Then in that case, a person should make it upon himself that he will always pray witr before he sleeps. Definitely, it's best to be done at home. But again, if the shaitan helps the person and makes him weak when he goes home and he doesn't pray, then he should pray in the masjid before he leaves. So we have to make sure, even though it's best to be done at home, but which is better, to miss it altogether or to pray it in the masjid? Definitely is to pray it in the masjid. يقول كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم اجعلوا آخر صلاتكم بالليل وترا متفق عليه. As the Prophet ﷺ said, اجعلوا, make the last of your salah بالليل, at night time, witra, which means odd number or salat al-witr. وقال من خاف ألا يقوم من آخر الليل فليوتر أولا. Whoever feared, and this hadith is Sahih Muslim, whoever feared that he will not yaqum, he won't get up at the last part of the night, فليوتر أولا, then he should make witr at the beginning of it. That shows that it's virtuous to wake up at the end of the night. Although some of the hadith talks about the virtues of making the night prayer في جوف الليل. جوف الليل means in the middle of the night. So as the ulama, they say the best time for the salah is the middle of the night, and whether they keep on praying till the end of the night or the last part of the night, or even if a person would pray and then do something else, or even sleep and wake up, right, or to make the last of one salah, the witr salah. وَمَنْ طَمَعَ أَنْ يَقُومَ آخِرَهُ فَلْيُوتِرْ آخِرَ اللَّيْلِ. And whoever has the eagerness and he know that by the will of Allah that he would get up at the end of the night or the last part of the night, then he should make witr at the last part of the night. فَإِنَّ صَلَاةَ آخِرِ اللَّيْلِ مَشْهُودَةً وَذَلِكَ أَفْضَلُ. Because indeed, صلاة آخر الليل, the salah of the end of the night, mashhuda. Mashhuda means it's witnessed, whether it's by the angels or as the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. This is the time when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala descends in a way that fits His Majesty subhanahu wa ta'ala, and saying in the last third of the night, هَلْ مِنْ سَائِلٍ فَأُعْطِيَهَا هَلْ مُسْتَغْفِرٍ فَأَغْفِرَ لَهُ. Is there anyone asking so that I can give him? Anyone is asking for forgiveness so that I will forgive him. So that's why then a person should never ever be or miss these virtuous times. It's not just Laylatul Qadr where the person wake up at night to seek the blessings in it. It's every night that if a person wakes up, especially at the last part of the night, to make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to make istighfar, to make salah, even if it's before Fajr by a short period of time, then definitely this is something virtuous and to pray with, then definitely it's the best. But again, as long as the person knows that he would wake up. This is what is mentioned here. And there are many more issues with Salat al-Witr. For example, if a person prays it one, it's normal how to do it. You pray one rak'ah, you make salam. If it's three, there are more than one way to do it. The most frequent or the most authentic ways that a person would pray it, either 2 rak'ah, make salam, and 1 rak'ah, make salam, or 3 rak'ah with 1 tashahhud at the end. And both have been authentically proven from the Prophet ﷺ. The third way, which is the way of Salatul Maghrib, this is a weaker opinion. But if a person does it this way, it's valid, but it's not the most recommended way. So the most recommended way, either 2 rak'ah and salam and 1 rak'ah and salam, or 3 rak'ah with the last tashahhud one. If a person prays it as 5, he can pray 2 rak'ah, 2 rak'ah, 2 rak'ah, and then 1, or the last 3 will be considered with, or the 5 rak'ah with 1 tashahhud at the end. So it's also from the sunnah to do this once in a while. That if a person would wake up, instead of praying 2 and 2 and 1, he would pray 5 altogether with the last tashahhud only. Only 1 tashahhud at the end, or 2 rak'ah and so on. Also, it is from the sunnah to recite in al-Witr, the 3 rak'ah of al-Witr, which is again the norm of the Prophet ﷺ. In the first rak'ah, he would recite Surah Al-A'la, Sabbih Isma Rabbika Al-A'la. In the second rak'ah, he would recite Qul Ya Ayyuhal Kafirun. And the third rak'ah, he would recite Qul Huwallahu Ahad, or the last 3 surahs. And the Qunut in Witr. The Qunut in Witr is mashru', it's a good thing, it's permissible to make dua. And the dua can be either before you go for ruku' or after coming up from ruku'. And both are authentically also proven. There is no harm if a person makes dua before ruku' in Witr, or after coming up from ruku'. The Sahaba radiallahu anhum, when they prayed together at the time of Umar and Taraweeh, they did not make witr for the witr, they did not make qunut for witr till the second half of Ramadan. So the first half of Ramadan they didn't make the qunut. They made it in the second half, because this is where the more virtuous nights and Laylatul Qadr and so on. So as a result of that, it is not something to be done every day. If a person do it every day, there's no harm. Right? But it's something that a person should do it and miss it sometimes. So it's not something that is a must every time a person has to make the qunut in witr. Right? So this is for the witr salah. Again, it's a very stressed one and it should not be missed. And it's the most stressed sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. That means the reward of it is something that nobody can comprehend, since the Prophet ﷺ did choose this. We'll stop inshallah at this point with the fiqh.